Okay, I'll have to go through Wiki to get all the character names, but I'll tell you the general aspect, because she has not seen 16 Candles of John Hughes.
I see pieces of it.
Okay.
But
I will give you some lines, and I will talk about some characters. Molly Ringwald, who I personally, first story of Molly Ringwald, my connection, when I used to work for Go Between, which is a delivery company.
Do you think she was cute?
Let me finish.
Sorry.
Molly Ringwald has a connection with Cole Spivey. I delivered one of her checks to her agency when I worked for Go Between in Hollywood, in Los Angeles. I worked for Go Between as a packaging company. So I delivered one of Molly Ringwald's paychecks. But anyway, regardless, 16 Candles. Okay, so she plays a daughter of a big family. She's one of many siblings.
I forgot my helmet.
She's many siblings, so she has siblings in a family, and they forget about her birthday. They just completely forget about her birthday. And she's turning 16, and she's very upset. Well, there's a guy called Anthony Michael Hall, and he plays a character, and he gets in the car with her, and he goes, "So you say it's your birthday? It's my birthday too, y'all." Anyway, and he does it like really good, because it's Anthony Michael Hall when he was younger and not as buff. And he like loves her, would do anything for her, but he's also kind of a little bit neurotic. Well, a lot goes on, and eventually, towards the climactic scene of the movie, there's a great party that happens in a house. I believe maybe her house or somebody's house, and they completely wreck the house. They trap Anthony Michael Hall underneath a glass table. All these things happen. There's an exchange student named Long Duck Dong. They do something with the automobile, and Long Duck Dong says, "No more Yankee for my wanky, the dongas need food," right? So they have him in the front yard. They ask him, "Dong, what happened to the automobile?" And he goes, "Automobile." Anyway, you gotta see it. Automobile. Anyway, you gotta see the movie. Those are just some scenes from 16 Candles. Those are some classic scenes. But it's a love story. Nevertheless, it's about unrequited love, for one thing. Because she does not fall in love with Anthony Michael Hall. She falls in love with the cool guy in the high school that has a Porsche. I used to drive a Porsche. And she falls in love with that guy. And his hair kind of sticks up like this. And they play the Smiths in one scene where it's a slow kind of tracking shot. They're sitting in front of a window. They're having like Molly Ringwald's birthday. And Morrissey's singing, the Smiths, "Please, please, please." Well, he's not singing in the scene. That would have been cool. But it's just the music. "Please, please let me get what I want this time." Anyway, it's a really good, 16 Candles is good. That's kind of my 16 Candles very quick moment. Now I'll probably go back through it with character names and stuff like that, but I don't have to get that complex. But it's probably one of John Hughes' really best teenage high school movies, other than Pretty in Pink, which is a whole different plot. But I'm a big fan of 16 Candles because of the chaos, and Pretty in Pink is good, but 16 Candles is, because Pretty in Pink is more about friendship, and 16 Candles is more about like unrequited love, but also love, passionate love, and finding that sense of lover inside of you and things like that. And anyway, you just have to see. Also, it's about her birthday. It's about a young woman's birthday. Okay, now for structured plot. Molly Ringwald plays the protagonist of the name of Samantha, who is being overshadowed by her older sister's wedding, who they completely forget her birthday when she turns 16. She goes off and tries to fall in love with the ultimate cool guy in high school, but is bugged by Anthony Michael Hall. It's kind of one version of it. So yes, 16 Candles is about unrequited love, and Molly Ringwald plays a character named Samantha who is overshadowed by her older sister's wedding. They completely forget Samantha's birthday. She throws a fit, but she also is very upset, but she falls in love with this stud in the school, and he's a senior, and his name is Jake. Now, Anthony Michael Hall's character is named Ted, and Ted is madly in love with her, so there's the unrequited love that's part of the story. Not conflict, I guess you could call it conflict, but the plot. So there is character and plot. It is got plot in it, but it's, I think probably maybe it's character. It's a mixture between character and plot. The crazy party, I'd have to go back and find out about who throws the crazy party. One of the girls, though, she has the blonde hair. She gets her hair cut. Her hair gets cut. And she's like, oh my gosh, my hair. She's like the prom queen, you know, that Samantha despises. It's far more complex than what they give on Wikipedia, but it's a good one. 16 Candles is definitely a must-see if you're a John Hughes fan, which John Hughes was a genius. I personally am a big fan of 16 Candles. Also, I love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, too. John Hughes was a complete genius. Which John Hughes movies do you like? Breakfast Club? Always thought she kind of reminded me a little bit of Ali Sheedy's character in Breakfast Club. Remember Breakfast Club? She's the swan, well, the crazy swan that is actually beautiful. You know what I mean. She's the woman that's actually beautiful, but she hides behind the glasses or hides behind something that covers her beauty for some reason, as for protection. While Molly Ringwald's character is pretty and then flaunts it. So there's two different type of women in the world. Some cover up their beauty for whatever reason, and the others kind of flaunt it. I think men probably maybe do the same. People will hide behind their glasses and their looks and things like that. Sometimes with weight. Weight is a protection. Like, why do people gain weight? Protect themselves kind of from other things. Still looking at the magazine?
Mm-hmm. I was seeing if we were in the Addison Magazine.
Oh, okay, cool. Where's that at? Favorite French fries?
Yeah.
Where are the French fries?
Right here.
From Snuffers?
Yep. Have you ever been to Snuffers?
I have.
Yeah, favorite French fries is Snuffers. I've been there. They are pretty good. But they said the favorite Mexican restaurant is Uncle Julio's. I think I walked in there once, but it was too pricey for me.
Yeah.
And then that's my sushi place that I go to. RA Sushi. I've been there a couple times. And they
RA?
Yeah, RA Sushi.
They have one in South Lake.
Favorite sports bar is the Sidecar Social. I've been there. Nate's Seafood and Steakhouse. Hadn't been there.
Quoting Breakfast Club. You'll put that in your mouth, but you won't put a man's tongue in your mouth, as in the sushi. Because Molly Ringwald's character, in Breakfast Club eats
First date is
sushi.
table 13. I've never heard of that one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Favorite place for a first date?
Oh, it won favorite place for what's it
For a
called?
first date. Table 13.
Didn't know.
That's them over there. Interesting.
It's all coming out of Addison. We've been there.
First date, watch it be like $50 a plate.
Ooh, Psycho. Hey, sweetie, take off your glasses for a minute. See how pretty Linda is. See how pretty she is. See, told you. Yeah, you know, like Jeff Tweedy and his son too. You know, Tweedy. They're like a really class act band. I wish I could turn this thing off for a second, but they're really good. I like Wilco, but sometimes in some cases I like Tweedy even more, you know, but Wilco's good. They're one of the all-time bands, maybe, of ever. Some people think they could be the best, you know, but Wilco is awesome. They're really good. I'm a fan of Sun Kil Moon, but I'm also now a fan of War on Drugs, which is kind of weird. You know, Radiohead I had to take a second look at because, I mean, Sun Kil Moon just hates Radiohead, so it's hard. You know, you got to work these family members out that you feel that you're really close to, you know. But I would say Wilco's pretty much one of the most talented ones, other than Tweedy. Tweedy's good too. But a lot of bands are good, you know. And I like the fact that Jeff Tweedy does covers of Daniel Johnston, because people don't realize Daniel Johnston's genius, you know. I mean, also, I wish that people would do more Elliott Smith stuff, too, because I'm also a big Elliott Smith fan. And there's a whole, like, culture of Elliott Smith fans. It's kind of a sensitive issue, you know, being being a lover of like all bands. Like I really like all music, you know, I really do. I appreciate all attempts at music in any form or fashion. I really don't dislike any musician ever, you know. I mean, there's one I could talk about that I'm not going to talk about, that Adam the Woo vlogged, you know, not very long ago, and no one talks about him. But, you know, other than that, I mean, I think all great musicians, especially, you know, like Wilco today, but, you know, the Ramones, like, you know, like punk bands and stuff, they don't get a lot of attention as much now. When you see a punk, you really turn your head, because, like, you don't see a lot of punks like you did in the 80s and even the 90s. Even when the grunge movement came through, punk was still pretty strong. And punk doesn't get a whole lot of attention. I think that's one of the reasons I do mention Adam, because he was a punk rocker that had a punk rock band, and that whole scene is in a way, I hate to say it, but what'd you find? No. It's sometimes I feel like it's dwindling, just like skaters at time. You know, sometimes you see a lot of skate parks and you see a lot of skaters, and then you know, you don't see a lot of skaters. It kind of comes and goes in waves, you know. At one time in the 60s, everybody was a hippie, and then they all turned into disco in the 70s. So everybody was, you know, really bad in the 70s. That's when the movies got really good. And then the 80s, punk rock came in. It really did well, and then it kind of turned into something that it wasn't, you know. And then of course, grunge in a way did, you know, Nirvana and Pearl Jam, they kind of competed. But then you got a whole new movement, which I don't know what to call it, you know, post-punk. You know, they call it outsider movement with Daniel Johnston. You got Jeff Tweedy, who is kind of like a alternative to mainstream rock and roll, you know, borderline rock and roll, but with a rebellious kind of poetic Bob Dylan-ish, you know, a Bob Dylan kind of thing, you know, a folk kind of thing in it, but also cinematic in the way that it expresses itself, you know. Storytelling, right? You got to have those types of musicians. Now, I would say the Linda and Cole band is probably going to be outsider. I used to say Christian punk, because I like to have a faith-based thing, you know, in music. But I wouldn't necessarily like show up at a concert and say, hey, we're a really great band. What's going on?
I'm hungry.
Oh, you're hungry?
You want to go to Cheddar's?
Yeah, we could. There's one like somewhere around here. Yeah, we'll go to Cheddar's. We'll go to Cheddar's. But what I'm trying to say, I think the Linda and Cole band, they are a band of moments. I think it's about moments with the band and not about skill. Okay, so, and I feel the same thing. I feel the same thing about Daniel Johnston. Okay, I don't think Daniel Johnston was about skill as about moments. Meaning he was about quality of the moment. He had skill. He could play piano, but it was about his moments, because sometimes he was a little off rhythm, or he held a piece of paper that was kind of shaking, and so it was kind of like moments, you know. But if you deal with someone like Jeff Tweedy, then you're dealing with squill. Sorry, not squill. I'm sorry about that, Jeff. I always talk like I know Jeff, but I've never met him. But if I did, I could hang out and say, hey, you know, it's about skill, right? So you got Metallica, right? Or you got like Smashing Pumpkins. You got like Billy Corgan's about skill, right? Like Beethoven or Mozart, they were all about skill. Bach was about skill. You don't have a lot of musicians that are about moments, because I feel that music is about the moment. Because you can take a great song, and if the moment's not there, then what's the point, you know?
Alright, that's true.
But, you know, I used to sit around and practice all the time, and I never knew what I was doing. Like John Lennon, they say he didn't really know what he was doing, but he did. And he was like one of the great musicians of our time. And over the last 100 years, he won for best song, which was Imagine. John Lennon, which he did with I don't know if it was Double Fantasy. I know it was before Double Fantasy. It was when he did it with Yoko. Regardless, it was. I'm getting Double Fantasy mixed up with something else. Anyway, he wrote Imagine. It was a great single. It was also on an album. We'll talk about it later. But he wrote that, and he never really completely analyzed music like a musician would. But he knew how to play music from some mysterious part inside of him, you know. I'm not saying that all musicians have to be that way, because, you know, you've got other musicians that can lay it all down. Like, for example, like Metallica. You know, they're a skillful band. So we're going to Cheddar's? Okay, yeah, I sometimes do this. She just found out something about Addison. Go ahead.
Addison has the largest permanent public art collection per capita in the U.S.
Huh. I did not know that. That's absolutely brilliant.
Public art per capita,
We may try to do another song, but we snuck into a sound booth at Guitar Center and recorded that. Won't You Be My Cat? See, she thinks she's a cat.
Woof, woof.
We're going into Cheddar's. I'm gonna try to do minimal vlogging. This is a minimal vlog thing, but we are going into Cheddar's. We could park up front. Yeah, I guess. Well, no, we can't.
Share something.
We can't park right there. It just looked like we could.
Ooh, they plant more than 70,000 tulips each spring in Addison.
Huh. Here, let me get this shot right here. So we're going into Cheddar's right here. This is like multi-level vlogging. But I'm going to try to do just very minimal vlogging. I know. Ooh, what was that?
What?
It was a bird.
Bird.
It didn't make it.
Oh, no.
It'll be okay. We just remember it in our head. Yeah, there was a squirrel, too, that didn't make it over there. And I said, well, that's what you get for messing with Linda's car.
Oh, man.
And this is actually the other side of... Okay, this is all curbside pickup right here. And this is curbside 8. We could probably go around. This is the backside of Cheddar's. Now, I do have a story about Cheddar's. You used to go to this one Cheddar's over
I used to work at Cheddar's.
Arlington. Oh, you worked at Cheddar's?
Remember?
A lot of good-looking people look
And
at
it took
Cheddar's.
three hours to get the heck out of there. Got tired of rolling silverware and cleaning up for 2
Yeah, we knew a guy that looked like Stephen Patrick Morrissey. We'd only let him, like, serve us. Because we were all Smiths fans. Don't ask me why, but...
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You
talking about the Smiths? I think the Smiths are actually a good band. I'm a fan of the Smiths. All right, we're going into Cheddar's. We're minimal vlogging. Just like the basic stuff that comes out.